Hi, I'm going to reflect on my observation experience at an elementary school located in Norfolk, VA. I did it with two different grades, my second grade and the fourth grade, and I think what I enjoyed the most outside of instruction was what I got to see outside of the classroom, as far as field trips and assemblies I got to attend. My very first day with the second grade classroom, I got the chance to sit in on an assembly where the second graders were presented books by the librarians, and it had to do with like the Air Force, the Navy, the military, things of that nature. And it was just really cool to see how excited they were about the books, and it was eye-opening for me because you usually see students that don't necessarily like to read, but these students were happy, clapping, pointing at the books and telling their friends which books they were going to check out to take tests on, and it was just really cool to see how excited they were about reading. Another thing that I enjoyed with the second grade is I got to go on a field trip, and it was to Nauticus, and it had to do with oysters. On the trip, the students got split up into groups, and they got to do things such as measure the shells of the oysters, separate the dead oysters from the live ones, measure the acidity of water, and measure wind speed. And the last one, I believe, had to do with cleaning out the contraption that they used to hoist the oysters up in. And it was just cool to see them interacting with each other in a very hands-on way outside of the classroom. And I hadn't been on a field trip in a very long time, so I really enjoyed it. With fourth grade, I really enjoyed an assembly that I got to sit in on that had to do with wildlife. And it was basically a woman came in from a wildlife museum and brought a few animals that had been rescued. And it included a possum, a bullfrog, an owl, and a snake. And I just really enjoyed it because you got to see what the kids knew about it and what they wanted to know and how excited they got being around these animals. And the best part of it, I think, is at the very end, the woman stood by the door and allowed everyone who wanted to have a chance to pet the snake. And I pet the snake, so I will really always cherish that one moment. It was out of my comfort zone. It was just really cool. As far as instruction, being that was majority of what my observation was on, I realized that the school as a whole placed a really big emphasis on teaching students how to read. The reading block in both second and fourth grade was very long. It was about 2 hours, and that had to do with, that was a time where reinforcement activities took place. Some students would read, all the students would, but at different times, students would go back to the table and read with the teacher. And if you weren't doing those two, you were at the library checking out books for AR. And AR was a really big part of reading too, because it's a goal that each student has to meet weekly. It's a point system that you get from reading books and taking tests on them. And it was just funny to see the difference between second and fourth grade, because second grade they're still really young, and when they finish their work they're supposed to pull out a book, but sometimes they would pull out coloring and things of that nature, and then once they were told to get back on task they would do so. But in fourth grade it's more like, oh, I have a goal to reach. If I don't have a book, I'm going to walk around and see if my friend have a book that I can read, or if I can't go to the library to check out another book, I'm going to see if one of my friends will be willing to check out a book for me. I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed the fact that I got to experience two different classrooms, because I never thought that I would really want to go past third grade. But doing this observation has opened my mind to the possibility that I may go a little further than third grade. I enjoyed the experience, and I can't wait to do it again. Thank you.